What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new series of sorts on the channel, and that's where we're going to be interviewing people that go out of their way and make Pokemon fan-made games like Pokemon Insurgents, Uranium, and stuff. And for the first one, we are joined by Brian, who is the creator of Pokemon Aria. I'll leave the link to Pokemon Aria's Twitter and the ROM and everything like that in the description down below. But Brian, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Brian from Pokemon Aria. I am the game director, so I do like the writing and the mapping and things like that. But I also have artists and a composer who could not make it the interview.
Alright, but the first question right off the bat is, how many years have you been in the field of game design and stuff like that?
Well, I started all the way back in like 6th grade. I'm currently a junior in high school. So I started with like Minecraft mapping, and that eventually evolved into ROM hacking, and now I'm doing Aria. So
That is actually pretty cool, but the Minecraft, I would never have guessed.
yeah, it's actually a really good way to get into it because it's unlike a lot of other engines where you have to like code and stuff.
Next question is, have you created any other games or ROM hacks of sorts? And if so, which ones have you worked on or created?
I haven't released any of them, but originally Aria's concept came, current Pokemon Aria's concept came from a version I made a long time ago when I first learned how to ROM hack called Pokemon New Moon or something like that, and it was essentially just like a regular 8 gyms kind of thing, but your starter was forced to be an Absol, and it had a lot of like lore stuff I was going to do with it, but I never ended up finishing it.
That's actually pretty interesting. I'd love to see it. If you don't have to show me it, it just sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I don't even think I have the file anymore, sadly.
And following that question is, what type of mindset going into it would best prepare you for designing your own game like Pokemon Aria?
I'd have to say like expect things to go wrong. Like you can never go in 100% thinking this is always going to work. You have to go in thinking like, if this goes wrong, what can I do to fix it, or what can I do to avoid something like this going wrong? So, yeah, it's kind of negative, but it's how I think about things.
Have you personally had setbacks on Pokemon Aria?
Oh yeah. Just something that came up recently was the 5th battle facility has a warping puzzle like in Red and Blue or Fire Red Leaf Green. But one of the events that were to warp you, it somehow set itself to always run whenever you go into the map. So you wouldn't be able to do the gym puzzle. So I had to completely remake the puzzle on a different map today. So
I'm just saying that puzzle sounds like my kind of puzzle, as I love the puzzle like that from Red and Blue.
yeah, it's more maze-like that one. But if you explore the city that the gym is located in, you can find a hint in like one of the bookcases.
That by far sounds like the best puzzle I'm ever gonna play.
Thanks.
And what got you into making Pokemon Aria?
Well, if you don't know, there's a community called Relic Castle that holds a game jam every year. I think the one for this year just ended. I was originally going to make Aria for last year's game jam, but it ended up, the scope was way too big, and it ended up into what it is now. And I just continued working on it, not giving up, and now I have the game.
That's pretty cool. What exactly, if you don't mind explaining, what exactly does Relic Castle do or is?
It's a community of like people who love fan games. So it's where like Atomic Reactor. He's a really big member of the community, and Dioen. Those guys all run it, and it's also a really good resource for getting like sprites and scripts and things like that, because a lot of those guys also hang out over there.
That sounds like something that would be interesting to check out. So if I can find a link to it, I'll also put it in the description down below. The next question is, tell us a little bit about what Pokemon Aria is about, and is there any inspiration behind it?
So Pokemon Aria is essentially, kind of like your run-of-the-mill, go do the thing and beat the game kind of thing. But it's a gyms. There are battle facilities that are they have teams that fit different like environments, I guess. So the first one is the actual battle frontier person is on the top of mountain, and his facility uses mountain themed Pokemon, so like rock, steel, things like that. But and then there's the evil team who wants to use like shadow Pokemon to do their evil plans. I don't really want to say anymore, but because of story spoilers. But yeah, and then in terms of inspiration, it's kind of like a spiritual successor to Pokemon XD, the GameCube game.
Yeah.
So because there aren't many locations that it shares with that game, but one of the end game locations in Aria is actually one of the places you visit in XD, and it shares a lot of like similar plot ideas. Like Cypher is mentioned a few times in it in Aria, in like the current demo, I think, and then also just all the other fan games. Like I'm really inspired by like Ethereal Gates and Pokemon Uranium. Like I was just playing Uranium before the interview started. So I try my hardest to get up to their level of quality, even though I know it's like really hard because they have larger teams. But yeah.
I mean, I was playing a bit of the demo, and like we were talking, there's a few bugs that we're still trying to work out. But overall, the game's great. I feel like it can compete with Uranium and stuff.
Oh, thanks.
And after that, it's what sets this game apart from other ROM hacks that we've seen, like new mons or new typings, anything that makes it stand out?
I'd have to say how it handles the gyms and shadow Pokemon. Because normally if you know like games like Reborn and Rejuvenation are like the two that come up in my head when I think of shadow Pokemon in fan games, they feel like they're kind of shoehorned in, you know, like there's like a larger plot and the shadow Pokemon are just there to be there. In Aria, they're part of the plot. Like there's an end game, there's two main storylines in Aria, and the second one completely revolves around finding the perfect shadow Pokemon you see in XD. The evil team created more of them in Aria, and you're having to find the rest of them after you take down the evil team, and that eventually sends you to like a different region and things like that. And then with the gyms, there's only one other game I've seen that does this, which is Crimson Sky, and the gyms are actually in the environments, and you have to explore to find them instead of just being in the town. And you like walk in, you do the gym, and then you leave and proceed on with the story. So
that is pretty cool. I like games that make it where, per se, the gyms or the Elite Four are part of the game, and they're just not standalone type things.
Yeah, that's one thing that really bugs me about like Platinum and other like the older Pokemon games. Like they just feel like the gyms are just there to be there instead of having a point.
What was the process you had to go through to get to the point in the game or the creation of the game you are in now, and what is your ultimate goal with the game, or your end goal pretty much?
So what I had to do, it's because I'm still in high school and stuff, I don't have very much time to actually work on the game, so it's just been a lot of working at night and getting all this stuff done. And I say the biggest thing I had an issue with, at least starting out, is getting a following on like Twitter and like social media and stuff, because that's how like people find out about the game and where they go download it. And if you don't have anyone there following you, it feels like you're doing the game for nothing. But now that I have a decent following, I have people who are like it feels so good to have people interested in the game. Wait, what was the rest of the question?
Do you have like an ultimate goal you want with the game? Kind of like an end goal you want people to take away with the game, or?
I want people to, because I'm more open about things than I guess like other developers of fan games. I want people to realize like how much work actually goes into this project, and like my end goal is to have eventually a game that has like 2 regions and fleshed out storylines and characters, and lots of side quests and pretty much post game stuff. I want lots of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what the interview thing is to do, is to kind of go out of the way and show people that play Insurgents or that are going to play Aria, that the people that make it don't do it for themselves, but they do it out of the love for Pokemon,
Yeah.
and to give back to the community per se.
Yeah, definitely.
After your game is complete, are there going to be like future updates or just future content in general?
I would hope so. Like a long time ago during the early stages of Aria, I had ideas for patches after I finished the game that would just add in complete new storylines and would be like kind of like DLC, I guess, where it's everything is self-contained in the patch, and if you don't have the patch, you're not missing out on like a ton of content. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I don't know if I'm still gonna do it. I have to think about it because also now that I have artists and stuff, I have to talk about it with the group instead of having it just be me deciding.
Yeah. And making the game, I'm sure, takes up a lot of your time. Are there any side projects you are currently working on besides Pokemon Aria? And if it's alright, I ask, what do you do in your spare time when you're not sitting down and working on the game?
Well, side projects. I have a game I'm messing around with the idea of. It's a HP Lovecraft inspired action RPG kind of thing in like the vein of Dark Souls, where it's very like lore based and things like that. But that kind of game takes a lot of infrastructure work before I actually start working on it. And then in my spare time, I obviously play a lot of fan games and Pokemon stuff. I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft because the new expansion is coming out soon. Yeah, I play League of Legends and I just play games. That's pretty much it.
I mean, that's really all the questions we have. I want to thank you for being willing to do the interview.
Oh, no problem.
And hopefully in the future, or in the near future, the Relic Bros and Pokemon Aria can get together and maybe create, like, I don't know, trailers for Aria or something that go up on the channel. But everything for Pokemon Aria you can find in the description down below. If you guys go follow the group on Twitter, they deserve it. They're working hard on this game, and I was playing a bit of it. It's a great game. It overall is. And the link to the demo that it currently is will be in the description as well, so make sure you go get it. And overall, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button down below and that subscribe button if you're new here as well. And I hope to have more interviews per se coming soon, and I hope to be able to work with Pokemon Aria on doing more kind of videos if they're willing to in the future.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.